for our sins. We already get that part, right? So I'm going to talk about detours, if that's okay. We're going to talk about detours. For those of you who don't know, I'm just going to pretend no one knows. A detour, what it does is if you're driving on the road, what happens is you see these signs that are warning signs, and it's a detour. And what it does is it tries to stop you and turn you to an alternate route because the route that you are pursuing is no longer available. It may be because something has collapsed, maybe they're working on something, the construction workers are doing something, but you can no longer go down that path. And so what happens is you see a detour, and then you have to veer off. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're in Midland and you detour, you're okay. But if you get in Dallas or somewhere like that and you begin to detour, then you become to where you're in unfamiliar territory, right? You don't know where you are, and you're relying on these signs to tell you where you're supposed to go.
That's right.
Now, one thing I do like about a detour is its purpose is to get you back to your destination. It's going to take you an alternate route, but its main objective is to get you back to your destination. So it doesn't matter how far off you go, it may deter you a little bit and take your time away and make it longer and get you in unfamiliar territory. If it's dark, it may scare you a little bit. But its main purpose, its main objective, its main agenda is to get you back to your destination.
Right.
Okay? And so that's the detour in the natural. I want to talk about us in our lives. Some of us have went through detours in our lives. Some of you are in a detour right now. Hello, you walk in the seat up, you see, this is part of your detour. Okay? You didn't know that you were coming, you just decided to come, it was just a whim. But hello, I'm here to tell you that it was part of your detour. It was part of a design that God set up, a plan that God set up to put you back in your destination. Because some of you have veered off just a little bit. And so now here is God, and He's going to get you back en route to your destination.
Yes.
And now there's two types of detours you can do. There's a type of detour where you didn't listen to God and you went your own route. And so now God has to come up with an alternative route to get you back to where He was trying to get you to in the first place.
Well,
there's also a detour that God will send you when something is up ahead that's under construction that you're not strong enough mentally or physically, emotionally, financially to deal with. And so He'll change your route so that you don't even have to deal with it. Some of you still not understanding. You're not catching me. So I'm just going to keep on going. I'm talking to myself because I've lived in detours. I went through detours. My detours was hell, but it got me to my destination. I always said when I was younger, I want to be a leader. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a counselor. And I didn't go to college. I signed up down here to go to Midland College, and all of a sudden my dad moved my family and I to Mississippi. And so I said, forget going to college. They didn't move me away from Edward. Hello. They moved me away from my boo. I ain't going to college. And so I began to work, and they made me a manager. And the next thing you know, I was a district manager. Did not even know that this was part of my detour. I said, I ain't going to college because I was mad at my parents, but ultimately, it was designed for my detour. Catch it. It was designed for my detour. And so what happened now, here I am standing up in front of you. I get phone calls all the time, never been to college, don't have that type of education, but I am standing in front of you as a counselor. I am a leader and I am a teacher. So even though I didn't go the route that I thought I ought to go, even though no PhD is behind my name, my detour led me to my destination. Some of your detour led you in jail or in prison. And you thought, God, why me? Why me? Why would you do this to me? But God said there was danger up ahead. If I didn't take you away now and steal you away, then somebody would have got you. There was a death sentence out for you. Somebody was trying to kill you. Somebody was trying to take your life. And so what I did was, I know it was mean, but I stored you away. But it was all part of your detour to get you back to your destination. But some of us fail to realize that it is in fact a detour. And so what do is, because we get put in prison, because we get put in jail, we're mad at society, we're mad at the world, and we come back up and we keep on veering off. Have you ever been driving in your car and you set the address and it tells you on the GPS to keep going or to veer slightly to the left or right? And you say, this can't be right. And so you keep on going. What does the GPS say? It says recalculating or rerouting. And when you say, well, you know what? This still don't look familiar to me. I'm not going to turn to the right like it says. I'm going to go up yonder and turn to the left. It says recalculating, rerouting. It never gives up on you even though you give up on it. It keeps on recalculating because its purpose as a GPS is to get you to your destination. Some of you are in here right now, and part of your detour, you can't understand it, you can't grasp it, and so you're still wandering. You're still wandering around in the wilderness, have lost your way, don't know anything, consumed with finances, relationships, God says, I put you on a detour for a reason, and you're still not listening. Sounds like the Israelites. We always laugh at the Israelites, but truth be told, hello, we are them.
Yeah.
We're disobedient. We have a ping-pong relationship with God. 1 minute we love him, 1 minute we hate him. We love him when he's doing things and blessing us. We hate him when he's not around. We love him when he's telling us that we can go out and have fun, but we hate him when we can't go to the club anymore. We love him when we can go to school and have friends, but we hate him when our friends start walking away from us. And so we were just like the Israelites. So we're going to go to Deuteronomy. I didn't forget my text. We're going to go to Deuteronomy in the 1st chapter. And y'all can stay seated, because I'm going to read quite a bit, so y'all can actually stay seated. Okay. Deuteronomy 1st chapter, starting at the 19th verse. And it reads, Then as the Lord our God commanded us, we set out from Horeb and went toward the hill country of the Amorites, through all the vast and dreadful wilderness that you have seen, and so reached Kadesh Barnea. Then I said to you, this is Moses talking to the children of Israel. He says, you have reached the hill country of the Amorites, which the Lord your God has given you. So you've reached where your enemy's headquarters is, and this is the place that the Lord wishes to give to you. It says, see, the Lord your God has given you the land. Go up and take possession of it as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, told you. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged. So here's the Lord. He has given them a GPS. He has taken them all over everywhere. And he's been their GPS. He's told them where to go. And this GPS is cool, because if I'm hungry, you rain manna from the sky. If I'm thirsty, I hit a rock and I have water. This GPS is awesome. We don't have one like this. And so here he is. He's led them to the promised land. The promised land that he told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob about. He's finally at the promised land. And so here's Moses, and he's prepping them. Here is the enemy's headquarters. This is the land that the Lord wants to give to you. Go and possess it, meaning it's yours. All you've got to do is go and possess it. That's all I need for you to do. Go and take the land as yours. And it's funny that he would mention, do not be afraid and do not be discouraged. I would assume if I was to tell some of y'all to go in the army, some of y'all would look at me kind of crazy. And so he probably got some crazy looks. He said, do not be discouraged, do not be afraid, do not be weary, do not be anything, because the Lord is giving this to you. Some of you, the Lord has given you something. The Lord has promised you something. And because you're in your detour and it doesn't look like you're going to where God has told you, you're wanting to not believe God anymore. You're wanting to stop believing and stop trusting him, because you told me that I'm going to be here by now. You told me I would have a husband by now. You told me that this was my promise. You told me I would give birth to a child. You told me I'd have a house right now. You told me you'd give me a job right now. But I have not seen that yet. So because I have not seen that, I am angry and I am afraid. But God says, be not afraid, for I'm with you. I'm giving you this. And just because it doesn't look like, sound like, feel like, smell like you intended, doesn't mean it's not what I wanted to give you.
That's it. That's it.
And so he goes on to say, then all of you came to me. The Israelites came to him after he told them that, and said, let us send men ahead to spy out the land for us, and bring back a report about the routes we are to take in the towns we will come to. Have you ever been in this predicament in your life where you're sitting there and you don't know whether to go left or right? And you pray to God and you have a gut feeling you need to go left because right has trouble. But have you ever decided you kind of want to go right anyway? And so you say, God, can you please send me a sign? God, I'm just waiting on a sign. God, I know you told me to go this way, but I'm waiting on a sign because I'm not yet going to go until you give me a sign. Has anybody asked for a sign? God's already told you what he wants to do, but yet you're still talking about, God, give me a sign. You Israelites, here you are asking God for a sign when all the while he's already given you all the tools that you need. We're just like them. So here he is. He says, can we send out some spies to scope it out? Then all of you came to me. Okay, moving on, it says, number 23. The idea seemed good to me. So I selected 12 of you, one man from each tribe. They left and went up into the hill country and came to the valley of Eshcol and explored it. Taking with them some of the fruit of the land, they brought it down to us and reported, it is a good land that the Lord our God is giving us. So now the Lord has been the GPS and he's got them to this place that they're supposed to go. And now he's used his prophet Moses and said, here you are, go possess it. And then he thought they was a little scared, so he said, be ye not discouraged, be you not scared, I'm with you. And that still wasn't good enough, so they wanted some men to go explore before them. And so here he is, he sent them in, and now they brought that produce with them, showing that it is in fact a good land. Okay? They've had all these signs, but guess what? That's still not good enough for them. They have all these signs. That's like you. You have all the signs. You keep on praying, God, is this for me? If this is not for me, take it away. That person walks out of the door and then you're mad. You're sitting there steady pulling that person back, but you just asked God to give you some type of indication that this person was not for you. You've asked God about a certain job and they turned you down. You said, Lord, let it be your will. If it's not for me, don't give it to me. And then when they don't give it to you, you get mad. I've done it before. I went in to get a car before the one I got now, and I said, Lord, let it be your will. And we was praying, me, Edward, and the girl. Right now, Jesus, right now. And the man came back and said, denied. And I looked, I was like, now I just prayed. But then I had to realize, I said, let it be thy will. So if you know that I'm going to get into trouble, if you know that I'm going to go into debt, then surely you're not going to give me something I can't handle. So here he goes giving me a detour, because I still got a car. I didn't get it when I wanted it, but I still have a car, so it's just a little detour, just a minor setback.
That's it, that's it.
Moving right along. Here is where they rebelled, 26. But you were unwilling to go up. You rebelled against the command of the Lord your God. You grumbled in your tents and said, the Lord hates us. So he brought us about in Egypt to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us. Where can we go? Our brothers have made our hearts melt in fear. Has anybody ever told you that you're not going to be nothing, that you're not good enough for this, that nobody's ever going to love you, that you'll never have a successful job, that you'll never live in a house, that you'll never have a car, that you won't start your own business? That's what these people did. They melted with fear because the words that were proclaimed over them. And some of you have done the same thing. Just because somebody said it doesn't mean anything long as God has not said it. So you can't allow a scout, a reporter, to tell you that it's not yours, because truth doesn't matter. They may be a hater and not want you to receive what it is that God wants you to receive. So they may tell you it's not for you when in fact it is, but then they go try to scoop it out. Some of you girls know what I'm talking about. This girl tell you this man is not for you, you need to leave him. The next thing you know, they with him. You don't understand? Or somebody tell you the family don't like you, so you need to leave, and then they end good with your family. Well, I'm just talking about my family. Y'all haven't had that, so we'll move on.
You better go on.
Oh, okay, somebody's with me. Okay, it says, you grumble in your teeth and all this. Okay, moving on. It said, our brothers have made our hearts melt in fear. They say the people are stronger and taller than we are. The cities are large with walls to the sky. We even saw the Anakites there. That's the giants. Then I said to you, do not be terrified. Do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God is going before you, will fight for you as he did for you in Egypt, before your very eyes, and in the wilderness. There you saw how the Lord your God carried you as a father carries his son all the way you went until you reached the place. In spite of this, you did not trust in the Lord your God, who went ahead of you on your journey, in fire by night, this is the GPS, and a cloud by day, to search out places for you to camp and to show you the way to go. When the Lord heard what you said, he was angry and solemnly swore, no one from this evil generation shall see the good land I swore to give your ancestors, except Caleb and, I don't know his name, Jephunneh. He will see it, and I will give him and his descendants in the land he swore. We're going to move on. Okay, now this is what you got to understand. They've asked for all these signs. God's given them signs. Now here they are scared because of the report they got. And so God is trying through Moses to just still encourage them. And that's still not good enough. They're still scared. They're still scared. They're in this detour and they're kind of scared. God's brought them to it. But here I go. The GPS telling me to turn right and possess the land. But I'm feeling like I need to go back because he's brought us out of Egypt to turn us over into the Anakites. The Anakites was like, they was sitting there like David when he fought Goliath. They were the Goliath type people. And they had already defeated him, so you would think they wouldn't be scared of it, but they still were scared of these people. These people were strong. And so they were scared to go over there to the enemy's territory and possess the land. So God told them, none of y'all gonna see it. Because you can't follow it and do it my way, none of you will inherit it. Because you think I would lead you to a death trap, none of you will enjoy what it is that I have set up for you. None of you shall inherit it. And so they did, and they had to go back into the wilderness. He took them back into the wilderness for 40 years before he finally brought them back with some people who were strong enough to get it. That's what I call a replacement. When God has asked you to do something for him and you don't want to do it, he'll set up a replacement. The replacement may be a baby right now, maybe in infant stages right now. But if you don't want to sing the worship song that God has asked you to sing, then he'll send a replacement. If you don't want to preach and teach the way God has asked you to do, he'll send a replacement for you. And so you'll be thinking you're so cute and you're so good and I'm not good enough or whatever. But God said, you know what? I've given this to you. I'm encouraging you. I'm giving you sign after sign. I'm telling you where to go. I am your GPS. I'm telling you to turn right. You're taking another route. And I'm still telling you to get back on it and you still don't want to listen. So I'm raising up somebody else behind you. And so back to us. Here we are. We're just like them. We've wandered for so long, and then we finally found Christ. And now that we found Christ, it's still not good enough. We're still asking for a sign.